Hi, and welcome to IPC Expo 2023. It's day 2, nearly the middle of the day. I'm joined by Charlie from CyberOptics. Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, thanks Iain for having me. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah.
Just give me an overview of your role within CyberOptics, because it sounds quite a long title, actually.
Yeah, I'm VP of R&D. So I'm in charge of the R&D for the system business. So, I mean, we have two main business units. One is sensor in our Minneapolis, and the system business is mainly done in Singapore. So I'm in charge of the R&D team in Singapore.
Right. Yeah. And what kind of things are you looking at the moment? What's on the top of your priorities?
Okay, that's a big question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So traditionally, we're doing a lot of things in SMT. So we are making inspection systems, especially the 3D inspection with the latest AMI's technology. So with the advancement of our sensing technology and the software, we are now looking into opportunities in semicons and metrologies.
Right. Yeah.
So there are a lot of interesting and exciting applications that we're working on. Yeah.
And it's an interesting area to expand into because not a lot of the competition is doing that, are they?
Yeah, that's exactly one of the reasons we're moving up the value chain too.
Yeah. And software is core to so much now.
Exactly.
And it seems to be that software that is easy to use, easy to understand, easy to deploy for the customer.
Yeah.
Is that clinching factor now, isn't it? Because they want the easiest way to do it, and if you can come up with something that is unified right across that, like you say, the value chain, then it makes their life easy, doesn't it? I mean, it sounds very easy to say that, but that's quite a long process to get to that stage, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always one of the key requirements from all the customers, especially nowadays. They are basically there are less and less operators and engineering factories, and the same like the front end, the fab, the darkroom factories. A lot of back end and SMT moving towards that direction. That means more automation, and the software is easier to use, doing more automation, all these kind of things. Yeah, though it is trend, and still a thing in progress. There's still a lot to be done. Yeah.
From an R&D point of view, your mindset is a year, 18 months down the line all the time, isn't it? So there's a lot of, what you're planning for, but there's also a little bit of intuition in it as well, of thinking where the curve will go, I'd have thought.
So there are multiple ways, multiple things we're looking at to decide our roadmap. As I said, we're looking further into maybe 1 year or even 5 years away, what are the directions. So that decide our overall directions, what we are moving to. That's kind of strategic things, but we also need to look at the short term, like the next 3 months, 6 months, what we need to do to make the product competitive in the market.
Yeah. Is there a lot of collaboration with your customers as well? Do they have an input into that whole development phase?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, this industry, the capital equipment, and especially for the inspection systems, the overall technology is driven by the customers. So the R&D team is working very closely with the customers to understand their requirements. So what we are doing very special is we try to understand the requirements. Instead of let a customer tell us a solution, we try to work out a solution, give our proposal from a technologist point of view. Yeah. So in general, that works better. Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think as well, companies have realised that they can be a lot more collaborative in the process, isn't it? It isn't a case of, I need a solution to this. It's like, I need a solution, let's sit down and round a table and...
Yeah, especially nowadays, the technology becomes more and more complicated. So the customer are more reliant on us to give them the proper solution, make all the technologies like machine learning, cloud, to give them a proper proposal and the most cost-effective ways to solve their problem.
And it must be quite hard for you to manage. You know, you're creating an ecosystem of software there, sort of almost an operating environment for your customers. You know, that's a lot to manage, isn't it? You know, to everything you add, you've got to look at every other, how that impacts on every other angle.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of special in this industry. So it's a software which is the most important piece of the home machine. But at the same time, it's also a machine. There's a lot of hardware. So, and the hardware is advancing, the speed becomes faster. So everything needs to be synced and aligned. So yeah, the R&D team basically look at all these things at different perspective at a system level and see how we can build a systems to fulfill the needs and to be the top in the market.
Yes, and it's been a busy show. You must have had a lot of people on your booth talking about these things.
The biggest show I've seen in years, which is good. I think especially good for North America. So,
yes, exactly. Yeah, and I think everyone I've spoken to has been saying how good it is. It feels like we're back to normal kind of thing with it. So, and last year at SMTAI in Minneapolis, we were there talking to CyberOptics, and you just started an acquisition process with Nordson, I think. So that's complete now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's complete in Q4 last year.
Right. Yeah. How's that how is that working of joining the two businesses? In that
so far great. We are excited about the opportunities, about the futures.
Yeah.
Have a big at a part of the Northern TNI group. So there are all types of machines, inspection machines.
Right.
It's probably the biggest company in the world having a variety of test inspection machines. So we have AOI, SPIs, MXI, the automated X-ray inspection, MXI, bound testing, acoustic.
Yeah.
So huge opportunity for us. Yeah.
And a lot of extra knowledge as well, isn't it? You know, sort of joining both.
Yeah. So we were seeing a lot of things that we can similarities, and how we can moving forward to offer and integrated solutions to our customers and advance the technology across our platforms. Yeah.
So it brings it all within that bigger ecosystem, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly. So we're very excited about it. Yeah.
So, well, I'm glad it's been busy for you. Thank you for sparing the time to talk to us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, very nice talking to you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.